This is Alaric from Stoic Way. How many times have you sworn that this time I'll make it? That now you'll be consistent? That you won't give up? And you won't abandon your goals? And yet, here you are again, at the very same starting point. How many projects, dreams, and goals have you let die for lack of discipline? For lack of consistency? Listen to me closely. It's not life. It's not a lack of time. It's you. It's you who has allowed laziness and inconsistency to dictate your destiny. But today, that ends. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will never be truly disciplined. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who get stuck halfway is not talent or luck. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even without desire, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is not a gift. It's a powerful habit built with relentless repetition and unwavering commitment. In this video, you will discover 8 Stoic lessons that will obligate you to be more consistent no matter what. Because motivation is fragile, it comes and goes, but discipline, discipline is a true superpower. And if you stay with me until the end of the video, you will not only master these principles, but you will emerge as a Stoic superhero, capable of achieving everything you set your mind to. Are you ready to stop making excuses and transform your life? Let's begin. But first, let me tell you the story of a man whose destiny changed with a single decision. Not to give up. Centuries ago, in a land consumed by war, where every sunrise could be the last, lived Callisthenes, a young Greek soldier. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the fastest. He didn't have the natural talent of the great warriors. In fact, his trainers looked at him with indifference. "You'll never be a true soldier," they had said. Callisthenes could have listened to them, could have accepted his fate, limited himself to being just another one. But he didn't. Every dawn, when his comrades were still asleep, he was already in the training arena. His body begged for rest. His muscles burned. His breathing was heavy. But he didn't stop. Sword held high. Attack, defense, turn, repetition. Day after day, there were moments when his mind betrayed him. Why so much effort if I'll never be the best? What if I really don't have what it takes? But when that voice appeared, Callisthenes silenced it. He didn't look for excuses. He simply kept training. And then, war came. The enemy attacked like an unstoppable wave. The sound of steel cutting through the air, the cries of the wounded, the smell of dust and blood. It was all chaos. Callisthenes watched his comrades fall. The same ones who had mocked him, who said his effort was useless, who never took training seriously. One after another, They were cut down, their strength quickly exhausted, their movements clumsy. They were never prepared for this. But he was ready. His body already knew the battle before it began. Every movement he had repeated thousands of times until he didn't have to think, just act. He didn't fight with fear, but with the confidence of one who had repeated the same action thousands of times. While others exhausted, he continued. While others fell, he advanced, blow after blow, without hesitation. When the battle ended and his army returned home victorious, one thing was clear. Callisthenes had become a legend. Why? Because when others looked for excuses, he looked for repetition. When others waited to feel ready, he was already training. And when war came, his body and mind were prepared. The Stoics taught these lessons centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius made it clear. Perform every action of your life as if it were your last. Callisthenes didn't wait for motivation. He didn't negotiate with his mind. He acted without excuses. And now, tell me, how many times have you told yourself you'll start tomorrow? How many times have you let laziness win the battle in your life? If you want to be consistent, if you want to be invincible, you have to decide now. Not when you feel ready, not when everything is easy. Right now. The story of Callisthenes is proof of mastering your discipline. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to be the most consistent. Are you ready to train your mind and forge an unbreakable will? Let's discover together. Now listen closely. These are 8 Stoic lessons that will help you master yourself and live a powerful life, a life where nothing stops you. First lesson, don't negotiate with your mind. 5 more minutes and I'll get up. I'm tired today. I'll do it once I finish this chapter. All right, I'll start seriously next Monday. Sound familiar? I'm sure it does. These are phrases we've all uttered. Small negotiations with our mind that seem harmless until they become a way of life, a mode of existence. And here's the core problem. Every time you concede, every time you allow yourself to negotiate, you become weaker. You don't realize it in the moment, but little by little, you're training your brain to win the game of willpower against you. Let me give you a classic scenario. The alarm rings at 6 a.m. You groggily reach out and turn it off. Your brain, that great master of deception, begins to negotiate. Just 5 more minutes and I'll get up. But you and I both know what happens next. 5 minutes turn into 10, then 20, and you end up rushing not to be late. Now, imagine applying that same excuse to everything. Today you don't exercise because you're tired. Tomorrow you don't work on your project because you lack inspiration. The day after, you eat poorly because it's just one day. And just like that, without realizing it, you become the type of person who puts everything off. Do you think Marcus Aurelius indulged in negotiating with his mind? Imagine him in his tent in the middle of a war, telling himself, "I won't write my meditations today. I'll do it tomorrow." Of course not. He understood that there are things that are done because they must be done, not because you feel like it or are motivated. That's why he wrote, "Do what your nature requires of you. Do not be distracted by other things." And modern science backs this up. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman talks about decision fatigue. Every time we make a decision, our brain expends energy. The more unnecessary decisions you make per day, the easier it will be to give up. If every morning you decide whether to exercise, whether to eat healthily, or whether to study, you are wasting energy on a mental battle that could have been avoided. Imagine you decide to walk 8,000 steps a day. The first day, you're motivated and achieve it. The second day, you tell yourself, "It's raining today. It's okay if I rest." On the third day, you think, "I won't notice the difference if I skip a day." And just like that, little by little, the habit crumbles. Consistency isn't broken all at once. It's undone by small excuses. But here's the key. You can train yourself not to negotiate with your mind. First, put yourself on autopilot. If every day you decide whether to train, you will lose. Every second you spend negotiating with your mind is wasted time. Instead of debating it, just do it, and you're done. Make it a rule. At that time, it gets done, period. Second, use the mental countdown technique. 3, 2, 1, get up. 3, 2, 1, go for a walk. Don't give your brain time to debate. Third, have a power phrase, something that pulls you out of inertia. Like, "I decide, not my laziness." Repeat that in your mind every time you feel the temptation to give in. And don't worry, this doesn't mean you never rest. It means you decide when to rest, not your comfort. Every time you force yourself to act without negotiating, you get closer to true discipline. Every time you give in, you move further away. So tell me, which path will you choose? This is the core of the Stoic principle of discipline and self-mastery. Not negotiating with your mind is a direct expression of commanding your will. Epictetus taught that freedom is control over oneself. By winning these small daily battles, you are strengthening your inner citadel. Each time you choose to act instead of yielding to laziness, you send a powerful message to your brain that you are in charge. This helps build ataraxia, tranquility, an inner peace undisturbed by internal impulses or external temptations. Second lesson, you talk to yourself like a victim. Imagine you have a screenwriter in your head, in charge of writing every scene of your life. If this screenwriter constantly makes you say lines like, "This is too hard," "I'm not good enough for this," or I'm sure I'll fail. Then, congratulations. He's trapped you in the role of the victim. And when you act like a victim, everything becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm going to tell you the story of someone who completely changed her inner dialogue during one of the darkest moments in history. During World War II, Eddie Hillesum lived through the horror of concentration camps. Imagine the injustice, the fear, the despair. How easy it would have been to sink into complaining, repeating over and over, "Why me? There's no hope. Nothing I do will change my destiny." But one day, Eddie made a life-altering decision. She started writing in her diaries. At first, you could perceive the anguish, the fear, the pain of knowing her life was in danger. But over time, something profoundly changed. Instead of sinking into despair, she began to repeat phrases that gave her strength. "I can still choose how to live this day. I will not let hatred consume me. My mind is still mine, no matter what happens." Every morning, she chose to tell herself that there was still light within her, that she could still love, and that she could still find meaning. She wrote, "Sometimes when I stand in a corner of the concentration camp, my feet planted on the earth, I look up at the sky and know with certainty, life is beautiful." What a powerful mindset, wasn't it? Eddie decided that the war would not dictate her mental state. Her inner dialogue shifted from despair to unyielding determination. She knew she couldn't change her immediate destiny, but she could absolutely change how she faced it. This story always gives me goosebumps, and it reminds me of someone who also thought similarly. Epictetus. He clearly stated, "It's not things that affect us, but what we think of them." Did you know that our brain is molded by the language we use? Like clay you can shape? When you repeat negative phrases, your mind takes them as a command. "I'm a mess." Your brain responds, "Understood. Let's act accordingly." But what if you change the message? If instead of saying, "I can't," you say, "I don't know how to do it yet, but I will learn," your brain will start looking for solutions instead of excuses. Imagine this. You've had the idea of opening your own pastry shop for months. You love making desserts. Your friends always tell you you should sell them. And some acquaintances have even asked if you take orders. You already have the idea, the name. You've looked for premises and even calculated how much you'd need to start. But something is holding you back. You start thinking, what if no one buys them? Surely there are people who do it better than me. I have no business experience. What if I fail? And just like that, without realizing it, you start sabotaging yourself even before you try. Every day that passes, fear repeats the same discourse. And the worst part is, you believe it. So, you let time pass. You continue making desserts at home for your loved ones. while letting your dreams slip away. My friend, the difference between achieving it and not achieving it lies in how you talk to yourself. And yes, changing this habit takes time, but you can do it. You want to know how? The first thing you must do is change "I can't" to "I don't know how to do it yet, but I will learn." And it's not enough to do it once. Every day, in every difficult thing, in every moment your mind tries to stop you, repeat it. Don't let your victim side win. Force yourself to be consistent. And you know what else works? Try talking to yourself in the third person. Yes, it sounds weird, but it's worth it. Instead of saying, "I don't know if I'll make it," say, "Alaric can do it. He just has to start." This is proven to distance the problem and help you think more clearly. Furthermore, emulate how your future self, the one who has already succeeded, would talk to themselves. Do you think your successful version says, "I don't know if this is for me"? No way. He speaks like the person you want to become. You already know. If you talk to yourself like a victim, you will end up acting like a victim. But if you start talking to yourself like someone strong, like someone who keeps moving forward without excuses, everything changes. That's what will make the difference between staying where you are or becoming who you've always wanted to be. This is the core of the Stoic principle of internal dialogue and control of judgments. Stoicism teaches that the words we speak to ourselves have immense power to shape our reality. Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb us, but their opinions about them." By changing the narrative you tell yourself, you are changing your perception and reclaiming control over your reactions. The shift from a victim mindset to a master mindset is an act of self-mastery. It requires discipline to constantly monitor and correct your inner dialogue. This practice not only boosts your confidence, but also strengthens your inner citadel, making it impregnable to doubt and negativity. Let your internal language become a powerful Stoic tool, a means to continuously propel yourself towards greatness. Change your internal language, live Stoic. Third lesson, how adversity strengthens us, transforming obstacles into a Stoic launchpad. You know what? Life isn't made of perfect moments or sunny days with daisies in the field. Seeing life in its purest form, it's a constant battle, full of obstacles that, if you don't learn to handle, will leave you out of the game, perhaps even defeat you. Now, what do you do when you fall? Do you stay on the ground crying as if the world were ending? Don't worry, because it's not. The Stoics, those sages of the past, had a way of seeing things that would make you rethink how you look at your own problems. The Stoics understood that adversity is part of life's package. You're not going to get rid of it, just as you can't get rid of Monday mornings. The key, as they would say, is not to avoid the problem, but to change your attitude towards it. It's not that they sought suffering, But they knew that suffering, if handled well, can be one of the best sources of personal growth. You, like any human being, probably want your problems to disappear magically, right? But here's the surprise. The obstacle will not only not move, but it's there for you to face it. Why? Because in reality, problems are opportunities in disguise. The way you react to those obstacles defines whether you come out stronger or get stuck. When you face a challenge, you're not losing. You're winning, whether you believe it or not. Every difficulty is a masterclass on yourself, on your strengths and limits. The difference between those who get trapped in their suffering and those who move forward is the ability to master the mind. The Stoics, for example, didn't let themselves be swept away by overflowing emotions. If they lost something or suffered a setback, they didn't give up. They turned the situation around. Instead of complaining, they focused on what they could control. You too can learn this. It's not magic or a secret recipe. It's just a matter of seeing difficulties as something natural, something that is there to challenge you and strengthen your character. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. Every rock you find on the path seems bigger and harder to climb. You stop, look up at the summit, and think, why did I get into this? The answer is simple. Because in the end, that summit will make you stronger than any valley. That rock, that obstacle, is not your enemy. It's just part of the journey. And overcoming it will make you wiser and more resilient. So, instead of yelling at the universe for the problems it throws at you, start asking yourself questions like, what does this obstacle teach me? What can I learn from this? How can I use this difficulty to grow? I'm not telling you to enjoy problems, just to change the way you face them. The Stoics called them difficulties that shape us. When problems come, because I assure you, they will, don't give up. Breathe deeply, master your mind, and face adversity as an opportunity to be better. Remember, obstacles won't stop you, unless you decide they will. If you learn to see them as a fundamental part of your growth, then you will have gained much more than any superficial victory. Problems are actually one of the best ways to make you stronger. What doesn't destroy you makes you wiser and stronger. This is the core of the Stoic principle of transforming adversity and amor fati, love of your fate. Instead of viewing adversity as a punishment, we see it as an opportunity to temper ourselves, to forge our virtues. Marcus Aurelius summarized this immortally. What impedes action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This implies that every obstacle contains a lesson or an opportunity for growth. When you embrace adversity with this mindset, you are not merely coping with difficulty. You are actively using it to build inner strength and wisdom. It is the practice of discipline to maintain composure and reason in the face of challenges, not letting emotions overwhelm you. constantly seeking lessons in every experience, no matter how negative, is a hallmark of Stoic self-mastery. Be forged by adversity. Live Stoic. Fourth lesson, daily discipline. Turn routines into a ritual of Stoic power. All right, let's get serious for a moment. What if I told you that the key to achieving everything you dream of lies in something as simple as a routine? Yes, I know it sounds like something your grandparents would say, but I assure you that what might sound like a cliché actually has a profound reason to exist. Daily discipline. The very thing we detest so much and always find excuses for is the path to mastering your mind and ensuring nothing can stop you. Do you want to reach your goals? Start by doing what needs to be done, even without desire, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline isn't just for athletes or artists. No, my friend, discipline is for you and for everyone who wants to see results without waiting for luck to smile upon them. Creating habits, those that seem so insignificant, but ultimately make all the difference, is what truly reinforces your mind. Does that sound strange? Imagine you're training a dog. If you teach it a trick, it won't learn it overnight, will it? And if you stop training it, it will forget what it learned. The same applies to your mind. If you decide to do something every day, however small, like reading 10 minutes each morning, or writing your thoughts, your mind will get used to that routine. And over time, you'll not only get used to it, but crave it. The mind, just like the body, needs exercise. Did you know that great Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus not only talked about mental control, but also about daily discipline? Sure, they didn't have smartphones or Netflix, but the principle remains the same. Control your habits, and you will master your life. So how do you do it? First, be honest with yourself. Don't talk about grand plans if you're not willing to take small steps. You don't need a great feat to start building discipline. Just one small change every day. If one day you can't do it, don't punish yourself, but make sure to get back on track the next day. The key is consistency. Another powerful idea is visualization. Imagine how you would feel by sticking to your daily discipline. Visualize yourself achieving your goals. That also reinforces your mind. Like when you prepare for a race. First you dream it, then you train for it, and finally you achieve it. If you tell yourself that what you're doing now doesn't make sense or is too difficult, you're deceiving yourself. The true struggle isn't in doing big things, but in doing the small things every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Daily discipline is not just a means to an end. It is a way of life. And like any muscle, the more you exercise it, the stronger you become. So, get that routine started. Master your mind, and nothing will stop you. As a very wise person once said, the first step to achieving anything is to start and do it even when you don't feel like it. This is the core of the Stoic principle of disciplina, discipline, and premeditation practice. The Stoics believe that self-control is built through small, intentional actions repeated daily. Marcus Aurelius described his daily routines with strict rituals, not because he was emperor, but because he understood that those habits forged his will. Daily discipline isn't about perfection, but about consistency. It's the practice of self-mastery in the small things, so you can apply it to larger challenges. Establishing and adhering to routines is a form of ataraxia, tranquility, creating a sense of order and peace in your life, reducing chaos. By turning simple actions into rituals of power, you are building a solid foundation for an unshakable mind. Cultivate your Stoic discipline. Cultivate it daily. Fifth lesson, resilience in uncertainty. The power of coping with Stoic chaos. You're living in a world where uncertainty is as common as morning coffee. You wake up with a feeling of not knowing what will happen today. If something new will make you tremble. If an emotional storm will erupt for any reason. And of course, fear lurks. Sometimes it's more subtle, like a small shadow in the background of your mind. And other times it's a terrifying monster that leaves you breathless. But what if I told you there's a secret to mastering that fear? Yes, there's a way to take control. No, it's not magic. It's an art, the art of resilience. Did you know that the Stoics, those toga-clad figures who showed no hint of stress on their faces, had something key that you too can apply? Their philosophy is based on the belief that true control isn't in what happens to you, but in how you respond to it. Imagine life is like a river, and you are a navigator in a small boat. The water is full of currents, sometimes calm, other times turbulent. But you decide whether you sink with fear or continue rowing with determination. Stoic resilience teaches you to accept uncertainty. I'm not talking about resignation. I'm talking about understanding that no matter how hard you try, you cannot always control what happens around you. And here's the trick. When you stop trying to control everything, your mind is freed. Why waste energy worrying about something you can't change? Instead of asking yourself, what if I'm not capable today? Instead, ask, how can I respond to this in the best possible way? The key is to master your mind. The mind is like a wild horse. If you don't control it, it will drag you wherever it wants. But if you learn to ride it, you can make it take you where you decide. Fear and anxiety are just thoughts. And yes, they can be powerful, but what self-help books don't tell you is that they are just that, thoughts. If you observe them without being swept away, you begin to see that they don't have the power you thought. Resilience is not about not having fear. It's about learning to move forward despite it. Now, how do we apply this in daily life? First, the practice of self-examination. The Stoics had this habit of reflecting on their thoughts and emotions. I invite you to do the same. Does something frighten you? Pause for a moment breathe, and examine that fear. Is it real? Or is it based on something that hasn't even happened yet? You can do this every day, in any situation that causes you uncertainty. Second, accept impermanence. Fear and anxiety don't last forever. They are like passing clouds. Learning to see emotions as transient, coming and going, allows you to deal with them better. Pause for a moment and remember that nothing is eternal. Neither problems nor anxieties. Finally, focus on what you can control. While you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can control how you react. Stoic resilience is built from action. Do something, however small, to take a step forward. Remember, it's not about eliminating fear, but about not letting it paralyze you. Stoic resilience is your best ally when fear and uncertainty lurk. Stop fighting the uncontrollable and start mastering what you can manage. Your mind. As soon as you master that, nothing and no one can stop you. So, the next time uncertainty knocks at your door, instead of fearing it, embrace it. Because if there's one thing the Stoics knew, it's that inner calm always defeats outer chaos. Fear has no power over you when you decide how to react to it. This is the core of the Stoic principle of resilience and acceptance of impermanence. It is understanding that fear is often an illusion created by our attachment to certainty. Epictetus taught that it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. Training the mind to face uncertainty and act despite fear is a hallmark of true self-mastery. Negative visualization and self-examination are practical tools to apply this. They help you mentally prepare for the worst, making fears less daunting, and fortifying your ability to maintain ataraxia, tranquility, in chaos. By continuously seeking lessons and opportunities in every challenge, you are not just surviving, you are flourishing. Be resilient. Live stoic despite fear. Sixth lesson, free yourself from the past. Find peace in the stoic present. You're walking through life as if you're the DJ of your own thoughts. The problem is you don't realize you're endlessly looping that song about yesterday's foolish mistakes. Or worse, the one that talks about what might happen tomorrow. The things that fill you with dread and anxiety. And while you're still busy with that mental playlist, you're missing what truly matters. The only thing that's real. The now. If you truly want to find mental peace and stop feeling trapped in a hamster wheel of worries, there's an ancient lesson you should deeply internalize. Focus on the present. Stoic philosophy teaches us that if you master your mind, nothing can stop you. And you know what? It's not as hard to apply as you think, but rather a powerful practice. But before we go on, get comfortable, because this will make you think profoundly. The past is like a video on your phone you can't delete. It's that call you made where you said the wrong thing. That decision you now deeply regret. That fleeting glance that makes you wonder if that person truly despises you. The future, on the other hand, is the horror novel you haven't read yet but is already terrifying you. What if I make a mistake again? What if I don't get what I want? What if the world ends tomorrow? I've already told you. The future is your worst enemy when you don't know how to consciously manage it. The key to all this is that none of those worries are truly useful. The past no longer exists, and the future, whether you admit it or not, is inherently uncertain. The only moment you truly live is in the present. Yet you keep dwelling on yesterday's mistakes or what you fear might happen tomorrow. Why? Because your mind prefers to live in the comfort zone of anxiety. It's easier to worry than to do something to change it. This is where Stoicism comes in. That ancient philosophy that won't give you a magic wand to solve all your problems, but it will provide you with the essential tools to consciously manage your mind. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoics, said, "Happiness is in the mind itself, not in external circumstances." In other words, stop waiting for the universe to align in your favor. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Instead, turn your intense attention and energy to what you can control. The present. How do you do that? It's simpler than you think. First, become acutely aware of your thoughts. Every time you find yourself reliving yesterday's errors or overthinking what might happen in the future, hit the brakes. Stop and breathe deeply. Return to the now, the only moment you genuinely possess. Make this a daily habit. Then, practice profound acceptance. Stoicism doesn't ask you to live in denial or anxiety, but to accept what you cannot change. The past is immutable history. The future is an unknown mystery. But today, right now, you have the sacred opportunity to act and choose how you want to live this moment to its fullest. Don't get lost in the endless mental noise. And finally, establish crystal clear priorities. If your mind is scattered, make a concise list of what is truly important in the present. Did you wake up this morning with a mountain of worries? Make a list of actionable steps you can take today, not in 20 years. That will give you the profound sense of control you crave. Time doesn't wait for you, and I'm not saying that as a threat, but as a simple, undeniable truth. The past is gone, and the future, although it worries you, is not guaranteed. So, if you don't focus on the present, you'll be wasting your life. Like the Stoics, take control of your mind, and nothing will stop you. Practice mindfulness, accept what you cannot change, and act according to what you can control today. Remember, peace of mind isn't about waiting for everything to align perfectly, but about learning to live with what is. Embracing reality. Number 1.5 number, 7th lesson. Accept what is. The power of letting peace bloom from the present. Did you know that the present moment is the only moment you truly have in your hands? Yes, that fleeting instant you're reading these words. That very one that slips away as fast as a river on a hot summer day. And yes, most of the time, we're busier looking back, reliving a stupid mistake, or wondering what could have been, than living what is. But have you ever paused to think that right there, in that very moment, lies the true magic? No, I'm not asking you to start meditating with candles and exotic aromas, though if you like them, I won't judge. I'm talking about something much simpler. Accepting what is. And I'm not talking about accepting the things we like. Those are easy. I'm talking about accepting the things we don't want. Those that make us want to hide our heads under a pillow. Sound familiar? Stoic philosophy teaches us that the secret to finding serenity is not in fighting reality, but in stopping fighting it. Imagine you're on a train, and the only option is to move forward. But you insist on looking backward all the time, complaining that the train is going too fast or isn't comfortable enough. That's how you spend your time, trapped in a useless battle with something you cannot control. But what if you relax? Accept that the train is moving forward and enjoy the landscape? That's where you find peace, in acceptance. To master your mind and ensure nothing can stop you, it's necessary to understand that serenity is not achieved because everything in your life is perfect, but because you consciously decide not to resist what you cannot change. You can choose to see traffic as an opportunity to listen to that podcast you love, or simply breathe deeply and appreciate that you are alive, even if everyone else around you is stressed. But make no mistake, it's not easy to accept what is, especially when circumstances are uncomfortable or painful. It requires practice. A fundamental step is distinguishing between what is under your control and what is not. If your boss is an asshole, you cannot change his attitude, but you can decide how to react to his behavior. Or if life throws you a curveball, like an illness or a loss, you can choose how to process it and how to learn to move forward without getting stuck in constant complaint. I promise you, the more you accept what is, the lighter your mental burden will be. Resistance only exhausts you. I say this as someone who has spent many hours fighting with my own buts. And I assure you that but will not lead you anywhere. It only drains your energy. Accepting reality as it is does not mean resigning yourself or giving up. It means freeing yourself from the futile struggle with what cannot be changed and embracing the present with the serenity of one who knows that, in the end, the only thing we truly have power over is our mind. Master your mind, and nothing will stop you. True power lies in learning to let go and live in the now. Accepting reality as it is the first step to being truly free. This is the core of the Stoic principle of acceptance and ataraxia, tranquility. It is understanding that suffering does not come from external events, but from our resistance to them. Epictetus taught that it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. By accepting reality, you are controlling your judgments, refusing to let external events dictate your peace. This is a powerful manifestation of self-mastery. You are not a slave to the desire for the world to conform to your will. Instead, you maintain your composure and reason, even when things do not go as expected. It requires discipline to constantly remind yourself of the limits of your control and to focus on what you can change. It also relates to amor fati, love of your fate. Accepting that life is what it is and finding peace in that acceptance. What if accepting reality is the path to greater strength and peace? Something you never knew existed while you tirelessly tried to fight against it? Accept reality. Live Stoic. Eighth and final lesson. Take care of your mind. Nurture your Stoic inner garden. Have you ever found yourself trapped in an endless cycle of thoughts that drag you along like an overflowing river? If so, you are not alone. The human mind has this peculiar ability to latch onto everything it cannot control. Past mistakes, future uncertainties, those what-ifs that drain us. It's a constant, chaotic noise, and this is precisely where mental self-care becomes incredibly important. We should not take mental self-care lightly, especially compared to physical care. While everyone knows you need to go to the gym to keep fit, who makes an effort to train the mind? The Stoics, those ancient sages, not only spoke of virtue or self-control, but also clearly understood that the mind is a constant battlefield. They knew that life's greatest challenge is not facing what is outside us, but what happens within. If you let your thoughts control you, if you allow yourself to be dragged by your emotions, there is no way to move forward. So how do you achieve this? How do you master a mind that disperses like the wind? The Stoics would tell you something simple. Master your mind, and nothing will stop you. This isn't as easy as it sounds, of course, but it is an attainable goal. To begin, you can start by focusing on what is within your control. The present. What can you do right now to improve your mental well-being? What decisions can you make to take care of your mind? Just as you would take care of your body? The first thing to understand is that the mind also needs training. Just as going to the gym helps you keep your body in shape, exercising the mind will help keep it healthy and resilient. The key is to be present, to focus on what is happening now, not on what happened years ago, or what might happen in the future. Practicing mindfulness is one of the most effective ways to achieve this. It involves pausing, breathing, and observing what is happening around you and within you, without judging or clinging to thoughts that drain your energy. Once you start practicing this type of mental self-care, you'll notice that your thoughts begin to have less power over you. The trick, as the Stoics say, is to accept what you cannot change and concentrate on what you can. Are you worried about work problems? Focus on what you can do today to improve your situation. Are you trapped in a past mistake? Learn from it, but don't let it drag you into the present. The present is your field of action. Remember, it's not about having control over everything, but about having control over yourself. Just as you wouldn't let physical pain become an untreated open wound, don't let your thoughts destroy you from within. The mind, like the body, needs regular care. Dedicate time to train it, to calm it, to strengthen it. And when you feel trapped in that cycle of thoughts, remember that true power lies in your ability to choose. Master your mind, and nothing will stop you. The mind is a garden. Cultivate it well, and it will grow in peace. This is the core of the Stoic principle of care of the soul and mindfulness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This highlights the supreme importance of safeguarding and nurturing our inner world. The practice of mindfulness and self-examination are key tools for caring for the mind. They help you observe your thoughts and emotions objectively, like a gardener tending to their plants. This allows you to pluck out the weeds of negative thoughts and cultivate the flowers of positive and constructive ones. By consistently practicing presence and controlling what you allow into your mind, you are building an impregnable inner citadel. This is a form of self-mastery where you are the sovereign ruler of your inner kingdom, undisturbed by external chaos. Stoicism teaches us that peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of wisdom and composure in facing them. Take care of your mind, nurture your Stoic garden. We have explored 8 profound Stoic lessons that have the power to completely transform your relationship with your mind, with life, and with yourself. You've learned how knowing yourself is the solid foundation of all mastery, how releasing what's out of your control can liberate you from all chains, how transforming adversity forges strength, and how daily discipline shapes your immortal will. We've delved into how resilience in uncertainty brings true freedom, how living in the present frees you from the burdens of past and future anxieties, and how accepting reality as it is the golden key to finding peace. And most importantly, you've realized that taking care of your mind is the ultimate foundation for all mastery, for all success. This isn't mere theory or pleasant-sounding advice. This is the path to a truly free life, where you are the absolute master of your mind, not a slave to your emotions or circumstances. Stoicism teaches that calm is not given. It's forged with effort. Self-control is not denial. It's iron discipline. And peace isn't weakness. It's power sharpened in silence and persistence. Each passing moment, each new day, is a golden opportunity to practice these lessons. It's in how you respond to people, how you navigate difficulties, how you choose where to focus your valuable energy. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, ingrained in your very being, becoming second nature. This is how you stop being triggered by everything and start becoming emotionally untouchable. So, I invite you, begin today, right now. Train your breath, hold your words, master your pause, and build a mind that cannot be shaken by what it cannot control. If this message has resonated with you, If it has sparked something within you, share your story in the comments. What moment tested you recently? What have you learned from applying these principles? We learn by reflecting, and we grow by helping others do the same, moving forward together. Because in the end, the man who can master himself, his thoughts, his reactions, his energy, is the man who owns his life. And that is the kind of strength that endures, a timeless, indelible legacy. Live with Stoic peace. Live strong.